The year was 1973. The real-life horrors of the Vietnam War were nearly over, but horror cinema was being dominated by supernatural beings, vampires, werewolves, and Frankenstein. Nobody imagined that the world would become so afraid of a sweet and innocent 13-year-old girl. The novel of the same name, in which the movie is based upon, is inspired by true events. The author, William Peter Blatty, read of a real-life possession in 1949 whilst he was a student at Georgetown University. The book would become a bestseller and be adapted for screen by Blatty himself. The production of the film was a fraught one, even in the beginning, with several big-name directors turning down the project, including Stanley Kubrick. It was William Friedkin that finally took it on and revolutionised the horror genre. The film could have turned out very different due to casting. Denise Nickerson, most famous for her role as Violet Beauregarde in Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, was going to play the part of Regan. Father Karras could have been played by Jack Nicholson. The Marlon Brando would have played the part of Father Merrin, but the director was worried it would become just another Marlon Brando movie. Jane Fonda, Audrey Hepburn and Anne Bancroft were all under consideration for the part of Chris, but Ellen Burstyn got the part after she called William Friedkin and informed him she was going to play Chris. And as good as actors as they all are, you might not realise that some of the reactions in the movie are real. The infamous scene where Regan throws upon Father Karras, Jason Miller was told the pea soup was going to hit him in the chest. But when it came to actually shoot it, the plastic tubing misfired and it hit him in the face. So his disgusted reaction in the movie is real, and he later said in an interview that he was very angered by this mistake. Ellen Burstyn has said the reaction after being slapped by Regan is genuine because she was pulled too hard by the harness and still has back problems today because of it. After giving a subpar performance when reading Father Karras' last rites, William O'Malley was slapped by William Friedkin just before the take, which caused his hands to shake during the scene. And it wasn't just the actors that had a hard time during production. The Exorcist is also known for having a cursed set after a lot of unfortunate incidents. Shooting was delayed after the set caught fire caused by a pigeon getting into one of the circuit boxes. Eerily, Regan's room was unharmed by the blaze. By the end of the film's production, 9 people associated with its making had passed away. Actors Jack McGowan and Vasiliki Maliaros both died whilst the film was in post-production. What makes their deaths strange is that their characters died in the film as well. But the supposed curse did not affect the success of the movie. If anything, it added to the hysteria that surrounded it. Upon its initial theatrical release, the film affected many audiences so strongly that at many theatres paramedics were called to treat people who fainted and others who went into hysterics. William Friedkin said in an interview that the most disturbing scene to the majority of viewers was that of Regan having an arteriogram. What makes this scene even more disturbing is this man. Paul Bateson was a serial killer convicted in 1979 for murdering film critic Addison Verrill. He later bragged in prison that he was responsible for the deaths of 6 other gay men, but they could never link the evidence to his claim. He was released from prison in 2004. The film would go on to have a gross income of just under $233 million and is the 9th highest grossing film of all time if you take inflation into consideration. The Exorcist was nominated for 10 Academy Awards, and it was the first ever horror film to be nominated for Best Picture. Linda Blair was nominated for Best Supporting Actress, but the fact that Mercedes McCambridge provided the voice of the demon that possessed Regan hindered her chances of winning. To sound as disturbing as possible, McCambridge insisted on swallowing raw eggs, chain smoking, and drinking whiskey to make her voice harsh and her performance aggressive. She initially didn't want credit for her work on the film, but she later complained about her absence of credit during the film's premiere. She is now properly credited for her vocal work in the film. The Exorcist ended up winning Academy Awards for Best Writing, Adapted Screenplay, and Best Sound Mixing. The effect The Exorcist had on society at the time is hard to fathom in the modern age. The head-spinning and green vomit has merged into everyday lexicon and pop culture. The Exorcist now has 2 sequels, 2 prequels, and a highly successful TV show. So it seems, the power of The Exorcist will compel you. Thanks for watching, and please subscribe if you liked this video.